Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of the award winning Fearless Tarot and Tarot in Love, Consulting the Cards and Matters of the Heart. Both books are available online and are published by Llewellyn Books. And if my books or my materials have helped you in any way take a more proactive or positive approach to tarot instead of one that's based on fear, doom, and gloom, I would really appreciate it if you would write a kind review on either Amazon or wherever you purchase the book, because it really does help my work get out there more. And with that housekeeping out of the way, it is time for this week's Oracle reveal. So, yesterday on my social media, I placed up a photo of three different animals and asked you to use your intuition and just ask yourself which animal seems to be calling to you, because that animal has your message. And the three animals were the horse, the sea turtle, and also the rooster. So if you're just joining me now, ask yourself which animal seems to be getting caught in your head, because that animal has your message. For those of you who picked the horse, for me, the horse is the helper of the animal kingdom. Horses are all about aiding mankind to traverse or overcome large distances. And so, horse could be an animal that you're attracted to this week if you're really needing to be more helpful to others, or if you're needing to accept help when it's offered. This is the benefactor animal. And so, it could be this next week where you're really just focused on cultivating good karma, putting out that good energy, because kindness is never a waste. The first card for the horse is where it's best to place your focus this next week. And we get the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords, you can always see him. He's kind of on the defense. He's got his sword upraised as if he's expecting an attack. There's also that flock of birds behind him, all in disarray, all disorganized. And what the Page of Swords can sometimes highlight is an uncooperative personality that might be around you, someone who's not working well with the group. The Page of Swords is often unaccountable. He's the first one to say, "It's not my problem. You're crazy. You're the one who's got the problem. I do everything right." So sometimes this card can represent a person who is guarding a wounded ego, and that you're needing to not get in the weeds with this person or to go on that lower level, but that you're needing to rise above it. And yet, if we're honest with ourselves, sometimes if we're not experiencing someone else like that, the Page of Swords can also highlight our own defensiveness about certain issues, things that we might feel really easily triggered by, that we're rushing to our defense, we're rushing to get that last word in, when actually what's needed is to lower the defenses, to learn, to absorb something. So, whether the Page of Swords is another person or is where you're needing to place your focus on yourself, this is a time to lower your guard, to allow yourself to be even more vulnerable with others so that you can really let people in, enrich your life, and not feel so isolated. The next card is going to be advice from your inner wisdom this next week. We get another swords card in the Four of Swords. Now, swords, they have to do with that element of air, which has all to do with our thoughts, our thinking. And, I'm seeing, this very activated Page of Swords with his defensive sword up. And then I'm seeing the calm serenity of the Four of Swords. And the advice from your inner wisdom is to calm down, to keep your mind calm, because a calm mind is a powerful mind. And so that Four of Swords could just say, this is a time to let go of the stresses of the fight. It's like playing tug of war with someone else and just letting go of the rope and letting them fall backward. You might need to just stop engaging in the struggle. Sometimes when we mentally prepare ourselves or brace ourselves for what we assume is going to be so horrible, it's almost as if it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Our muscles are tight, we're clenched up, we're ready for battle. And what does life give us but a battle? And sometimes what the lessons of these cards is to do is just to accept, to allow, to just say, okay, I'm not going to fight this. I'm not going to struggle against the reality. I'm just going to allow this. I'm just going to let this flow past me. It changes your posture from being stressed out, worried, anxious. Maybe what you're needing to do right now is take a nice deep breath to relax, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and reapproach the situation from a place of calm. And the mythic archetype that's going to help you from the Egyptian gods oracle is Heka. And Heka is, his card says alchemical force, but what I feel he is an archetype of magic. And that whole theme of how we posture ourselves, how we approach life, That's what's reflected to us. You know, your thoughts are magic spells. They go out into the world and they create the reality you're experiencing. And if you expect a battle, if you expect to be, trod upon, well, then you're going to find yourself constantly getting trod upon or constantly engaged in a conflict or a battle. And what I'm kind of feeling like you're needing to be aware of are the weaves of magic that are around you, those energy weaves, and how much better that magic's going to feel around you when your energy's calm, when it's a clear channel, and when it's not defensive. So that is the message for the horse. The next animal spirit is the sea turtle. It's such a pretty card, too. By the way, the animal oracle I'm using is from the Everyday Witches Familiars from Llewellyn. So you might want to check that out. But the sea turtle, we got that beautiful blend with the turtle of the earth element, but then also the water. So this could be, if you're attracted to the sea turtle, a time where you're blending both your emotional, intuitive, watery self with a very practical, grounded approach to the problems that might be in front of you right now. And turtle could just say that you really want to get grounded. You might also want to take a deep dive into what your authentic feelings really desire at this time. It's really important that you're listening to your heart, listening to those emotional flows. First card for the turtle is where it's best to place your focus, and appropriately, we get that Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is all about that journey of withdrawal. You can see the figure here. He's walking away from us. He's going to the land of water and grottos. We got that perfect blending of the earth element with the water element in this card. And also that eclipse that's happening on the card where the moon is blocking out the sun. The moon representing your inner authentic self, the true you, and the sun representing your image, how you want other people to see you, what you want to project to the world. Right now, the moon needs to take precedence over the sun. Your inner needs need to take precedence over your image, over what you're trying to project at this time. And I feel the way forward is going to be so much smoother when you're back in alignment with your authentic self, with your magic. Also, the Eight of Cups, sometimes it's associated with a period of melancholy, sometimes even depression. And even that's a useful tool because sometimes when we're feeling down, it really helps us identify that there's something that we need to check within about, that we need to really look at our own heart or really spend some time bonding with our deeper unconscious self in order to understand it, in order to feel those feelings that might be choking you from behind so that they can loosen their grip on you. So I feel like this is going to be a week for the sea turtle that's rather cathartic, and that's really calling you back to who are you really? What is your purpose? It isn't this stress you're worried about or this external, minor passing situation. Maybe it's time to get back in touch with the gravity of who you really are. Next is going to be advice from your inner wisdom. And we get that water, earth element. Again, look at that with the angel of temperance. 1 foot in the water and then 1 foot on the land. It's all about balance for the sea turtle this next week. And the angel of temperance is one of the most potent healing figures in the tarot. All angels in the tarot can represent your higher self. And in the case of the angel of temperance, the angel's identifying what's running on empty. The angel's pouring 1 full cup of water into the empty cup. And so this could be a time when you're consciously replenishing that which has been running on empty in your own life. And if you look up the word temperance in the dictionary, a lot of times the key word associated with it would be moderation. So this week, nothing too much. Don't push yourself. It's time for healing. And the mythic archetype from the Egyptian oracle deck is Ammit. This is the monster of the underworld that can devour you. It eats the hearts that are heavy, that are carrying heaviness. And so the message, the symbol, because these are all symbols, it's to let go of what's burdening your heart. It's to not allow the monster within to eat you alive by hanging on to things in your heart that are burdensome, that aren't authentic, that aren't clear for you. All underworld monsters in the mythologies, they're not there to just terrify you. They're there to symbolize something that needs to be addressed, corrected, or brought into harmony. And so even with this kind of scary image of that underworld monster, how many of us have scary things lurking around in our own shadows and our own fears? It's time to take an honest assessment of that which has been neglected. And it's time to pour your energy not into your fears, not into the disempowering things, the things that keep your heart heavy, but instead to pour your energy into what's authentic, what's true, and what's limitless within you. And then finally, after the sea turtle, we are going to go into the rooster. And the rooster is the one who heralds the morning. The rooster is the one that wakes us up like the alarm clock. And if you've been feeling like you're sleepwalking through life, the rooster could be an animal that you're attracted to because it's time to be conscious. It's time to be present. It's your consciousness, it's your presence in the moment where your power can be found. And the rooster could be waking you up to a new day that's dawning. First card for the rooster is where it's best to place your focus. We got the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords, I've called it a card of destructive passivity. The woman on the card, she's waiting for the hero to come. She's the damsel in distress. She's hoping, wishing passively that someone's going to come and rescue her from her plight, and nobody's coming. And yet she can rescue herself. She's literally inches away from these sharp swords. She could cut the bindings that are binding her with those swords if she just even had a little fight in her. And I feel like what the rooster is needing to know is that you're needing to wake up to the things that you're really being passive about in your life. And what I mean by that are the things that are going on automatic. You're not questioning them. You're just saying, well, I guess it's always that way because it's always been that way and I can't really do anything about it. And I hope somebody kind of, comes in and notices that I'm struggling here. You're needing to be awake to, why am I putting up with this? Why am I tying myself in knots with these fears? For me, the Eight of Swords is also that symbol of paralyzing fears, fears that tie you up in knots. Fears that prevent you from being free, living your full life. It might be a time to wake up to those unconscious narratives that have been keeping you stuck or bound up. And instead of waiting for someone else to come in and rescue you, to notice you, to appreciate you, the Eight of Swords is saying that work needs to be done on your own. And as we discussed earlier with the swords cards, they represent your thoughts, your thinking. And, some of the darkest cards in the tarot, they're in the sword suit because some of the darkest things that we deal with come from our own minds, our own mental traps. So this is a time to be brave and to recognize that you can wriggle out of the traps that might have kept you stuck until now. The advice from your inner wisdom is actually our gentle Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, she is a card of reflection and really feeling your authentic feelings. The Queen of Cups prizes emotions and feelings far more than any other card in the tarot. She holds the most elaborately decorated chalice. It looks like a trophy. And she's telling you that even the fears, even the hard emotions, even the difficult things are valuable teachers. She puts the waters of all of her emotions in her sacred chalice, not just the happy ones, but the ones that make her afraid, that make her reflect. And it's from our challenges that we really get to grow. Without conflict, there's no growth. And, who doesn't want to just feel like they want to live a life where it's completely blissful and free and then there's never any conflict, but you wouldn't grow. You wouldn't be challenged to do anything more with yourself. And so I just feel with these cards that this is a time to even appreciate the hard lesson and really ask yourself, what's this really teaching me? And once you even find the value in that, you can harness that energy and make huge improvements in your life. And then the mythic archetype that's going to help you is Thoth or Thoth. He's the ibis-headed god of wisdom. And I feel like he's just saying that there's wholeness that's going to be found in the wisdom of your situation by acknowledging the wisdom, even in confronting your fears, the wisdom in your own emotional journey. There's wisdom to be found for you right now. There's an important lesson. And the lesson is to look at it, to look at the fear, to feel it, yeah, but not to get stuck in knots about it, and to take the wise course of action. Our inner wisdom is in a place that's far beyond our feelings. When we look within, we sometimes are confronted with our emotions, maybe a fear or an anxiety. And sometimes we stop there. And that Queen of Cups, much like the High Priestess, is asking you to look a little deeper. Find the place that you plumb the depths and then access your inner wisdom with. That's going to help you make the right choice this next week. And that is this week's Oracle. I do hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank you all for helping to support my YouTube channel. It's been growing so beautifully. And to help it grow even more, if you want to like, share, subscribe, if you found this information useful, I would so appreciate it. And if you like my approach to reading cards, you'll absolutely love a one-on-one tarot session with me. And you can book that at elliotoracle.com. You can see my full schedule there and pick a time that seems convenient for you. But I'd love to get into your cards and see what they have to say about your particular experience. I hope you have a wonderful week, whatever it is that you're doing. And thank you again so much for tuning in every week and every day for the daily oracles as well. So again, I will see you again next week. So do take care.